Here we go now. A case of beer, some barbecue. There's no doubt that I'm better than you.
Check. Testing 1, 2.
And these moves, you can't blame me for being so rude. The land of the red, white, and blue will be my home till the day I die. I'm every lady's fantasy. I'm the American guy. The trailer park is where I'm from. You better believe I have about 27 guns. Baseball games, pickup trucks. I'm leagues above you other dumb schmucks. I'm from where the women are hot and the Twinkies are deep fried. And every day I pledge allegiance to God and country. I'm the American guy.
Hello, friends, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Filsinger Games Fan Podcast. It is great to have you here today. This is the Filsinger Games Fan Podcast, episode number 137, being recorded on May 9th, 2021. That's right, the Filsinger Games Fan Podcast, the podcast that is managed by Raynard Beguile. Welcome, everybody. It is great to have you here. So excited to talk to you this week. Holy moly! Do we have news? We have news. Even the news has news. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much news. It was hard to fit it all in, but we're gonna try. Hey, before we begin, I do want to give a special shout out to all the Patreon patrons who help make this show and the other content from Saturday Morning Media possible. Big thanks to all of them, and a special shout out to the patron producers who pledge at the patron producer level, and that's Dorothy Pachoco, Eve Cunning, Kathy Crawford, Tony Urbano, David Akers, Jamie Donmeyer, and Vicky Sebring. If you would like to become a patron, head on over to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media. Well, we've got so much news here, and in fact, we have an exclusive. It wasn't an exclusive that was provided directly to the podcast. It's just an exclusive that hasn't been talked about on any of the podcasts. So we're gonna get to it because I'm super excited to do so. We're gonna start off with, usually we start off with game specific news. Today we're starting off with some Filsinger Games news, and that is that there was a big announcement about Galacticon 2021. Galacticon this year will be held at Molly Maguire's Irish Restaurant and Pub in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. The convention will run from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, July 10th, and 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday, July 11th. Now, those who cannot join the convention in Pennsylvania will still be able to join online in our concurrent virtual convention. Attendees at both in-person and virtual will be able to participate in all events, including game tournaments, special guest and staff Q&As, trivia, and of course the annual charity auction that will benefit the Tragos Thez Hall of Fame. All convention attendees, this was great news. This was exciting. I hope you're sitting down. All convention attendees will receive not one, but 2 exclusive game cards, one each for Legends of Wrestling and Champions of the Galaxy. They will receive both physical and virtual cards for COTG Online. Tickets are on sale right now at filsingergames.com. Now listen, remember the people who are upset about Nacho Barrera not being able to get the Nacho Barrera card? Get your tickets now to get this card. You don't have, there's all different price options. There's a price for if you're going to go. There's a price if you're not going to go, but you're going to play in tournaments. There's a price if you're not going to play in tournaments, but you're going to go on virtually. Just make sure you get your tickets now. Filsingergames.com. That's where you go to get it. And super, super excited for all this Galacticon information. You don't want to miss out on any of this, including the Legends and Champions of the Galaxy card. Now, let's head into some Champions of the Galaxy news, and we are going to start with our exclusive. that none of the other podcasts, the Filsinger Games podcasts, have reported. And you're going to hear it here, ladies and gentlemen. And that is an update from Tom Filsinger. This was a tweet he put out a bit ago. And it reads, Origins 2137 Champions of the Galaxy update. First draft of the handbook complete. Editing and tinkering is endless. Card art coming along, so we already have card art is being made, and spectacular Dale Banks art as always. And the bonus pack, you remember we talked about this. There is a deluxe bonus edition of this of 2137 you're going to be able to get. And Tom says the bonus pack is pretty much complete and so much fun. Everything is on schedule for a July release. So there you have it from the man himself, Tom Filsinger. He has all the information, and 2137 is chugging along. Wow, we are only in 2 months. We will have 2137. I'm super excited about that. Can hardly wait. The other Champions of the Galaxy news is for COTG Prime for Q2, and that was that Crust was announced. The Kroll scientists are ready to unveil their latest creation, a friend and tag team partner for Mass. But things aren't so masterful for the eugenics project when they are left to their own devices. Meet Crust. And be there when the Kroll scientists introduce him for the first time and to the rest of the solar system. So there you go. There's Crust. Crust is a Champions of the Galaxy Promoter Prime Edition fitting in with the FTR section of the universe. Moving on to Filsinger Games Independent Wrestling. We have two big announcements to cover, and the first one is that Tony Deppen, I think I'm saying that last name correctly, I could be wrong, I don't know, was announced. Tony Deppen bested Tracy Williams on 4/30/21 to become the 25th Ring of Honor World Television Champion, and he is adept with his remarkable mat game. Deppen is also no stranger to the brutality of deathmatch wrestling. His versatility has made him a name to watch on the indie scene and a must-add talent to your Fed. So there you go, Tony Deppen announced. And then just on Friday announced Chris Masters. Debuting on the national stage at the young age of 22, Chris Masters has nearly a 2-decade career wrestling for the biggest promotions in the country. Most recently winning the secondary title in the oldest promotion in the U.S., his feared finishing hold, the Master Lock, has put away some of the biggest names in all of wrestling. Chris Masters has no problems breaking the rules and bringing his powerhouse fatigue to bear on all comers in order to secure the win and take home the gold. Hold your own Master Lock Challenge series when Chris Masters comes to your Fed in the new Best of the Indies 2021 expansion. Great to see someone who's wrestled for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood get a card. Chris was a great guy and was super nice and great to hang out with. So there you go. No news for Indies Prime, but they will fit in with the Best of the Indies set. Moving on to Legends of Wrestling. You already heard this announcement, but this is huge. Ladies and gentlemen, Gorilla Monsoon has signed with the game, and we are getting a Gorilla Monsoon Bobby Heenan card in the Legends of Wrestling Ringside Personnel 4-pack. I could not be more excited. One of the most legendary voices in professional wrestling history is coming to Legends of Wrestling. Gorilla Monsoon makes his Legends of Wrestling debut alongside his broadcast partner, Bobby the Brain Heenan. This unique card gives promoters the chance to have Bobby and Gorilla host your very own studio show. Never before seen mechanics will spice up your Fed in ways that will have you saying, "Will you stop?" as the fun gets out of control. So very, very excited to get this card. It is available as part of the Ringside Personnel 4-pack that also includes Gary Michael Capetta and Bill Apter. So we've got one more card left in this 4-pack. I wonder if they're going to announce it or if it will be a surprise. There has also been hints that this new card, this fourth card, might be new because I believe Mike on the board said there was more than one new name in this pack. So Gorilla Monsoon, definitely a new name. And Bill Apter and Gary Michael Capetta and Bobby the Brain Heenan have had cards before. So it's going to be interesting to see who that is, if we'll get the announcement next Friday, or if maybe they're going to announce some what do you call it? Promoter Prime next week for Legends. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But super excited to get Gorilla Monsoon. You better believe I'm going to be. I already got my pre-order in. I can't wait for this card. I will be using it fresh out of the package when it arrives. Moving on to Legends Prime. I'm so excited about this. The only Filsinger Games podcast who correctly called the winner of the Fans' Choice poll. Scotty Riggs was the winner, and we called it here last week, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We are 1-0 in our calls for things like this, and super, super excited to be correct. Scotty Riggs was the winner. It was announced on the latest Uncharted Territory podcast that it'll be the American males version of Scotty Riggs, so not a flock version of Scotty Riggs. So sorry for those who wanted a flock version, but it's going to be the American males version that you can team up with Buff Bagwell. All these sets are, and that makes me wonder, do you think we will get a Buff Bagwell card as the third card for Promoter Prime? Because we know 2 of the cards in Promoter Prime already. And do you think that maybe they will release a Buff Bagwell? Because I don't know much about Buff Bagwell, and I know he already has a Promoter Prime card. But does that card fit in with the American males, or would he need a little bit of an updated card? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see. So congratulations, Scotty Riggs, who will be in Promoter Prime. All of these sets are available for pre-order right now and at filsingergames.com, and the online versions will go up for purchase later at a later date as we get closer to the release date. So there you have all the latest news, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to roll on forward to the match of the show. Our current champion, Dude Brohan, has beaten just about everybody who's come his way. And we had a lot of great suggestions for who he should fight. I will say that if he wins today, he will tie Incubus for the most title defenses. So this is a pivotal match here for Dude Brohan. We had a lot of great suggestions as to who Dude Brohan should fight. Jim Londas, Alpha Force 2093, Avalanche, which is the Champions of the Galaxy version of King Kong Bundy. And then one of the suggestions was King Kong Bundy in a steel cage to kind of recapture WrestleMania 2, Swarm 2119, or Chaos 2092. Now, I was going to consider Avalanche, and, since somebody said Avalanche and somebody said Bundy, I was going to consider them, but I just decided to throw all these names into a randomizer, and it is time to head to ringside, ladies and gentlemen, to see who Dude Brohan will defend the podcast Grand Championship against. The winner of the randomized draw was none other than Chaos 2092. So very excited for this match. I'm very excited to see how this all shakes out. Let's roll for some initiative here, ladies and gentlemen, and ring that bell. And they both roll a 5 for initiative. So we will re-roll for initiative. Dude Brohan rolls a 5. Chaos rolls a 6. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And he throws Dude Brohan into the ropes. And the opponent tries a sunset flip, but you grab his legs and roll him into a pinning combination. Dude Brohan rolling Chaos into a pinning combination right off the top. Oh my gosh. Oh no, the target is a 2. The roll is an 11. So a big kick out by Chaos there. But holy moly, Dude Brohan taking things right off the top, tosses Chaos outside the ring. And, I hit the wrong thing there. Hold on. Tosses Chaos outside the ring. And the opponent comes out of the ring and a wild brawl erupts. Both wrestlers roll for disqualification. Rolling Dude Brohan for disqualification. He is not disqualified. Rolling Chaos for disqualification. He is disqualified. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen. Dude Brohan gets the win because Chaos refuses to stop brawling. Chaos upset about that quick pin early in the match, and it is all over in minutes, ladies and gentlemen, as Chaos gets himself disqualified. All right, I will leave it up to you, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think there needs to be a rematch here, maybe with some sort of stipulation? Or do you think, dude, Brohan, he wrestled the best he could. He proved himself, and he should get a new opponent? I'm going to leave it up to you. Comment in the comments below and let me know what you think. The fans are not happy. I'll tell you that much. The fans are not happy. They wanted a big match. But listen, this is the way the dice rolls. So there you go. We can't, we didn't say it was a no DQ match. So the fans are already calling, Thomas in the chat, already calling for a cage match. So you let me know in the comments on the YouTube channel or over on the podcast page what you think, and we will go. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. See, this is why the game is fun. You get something exciting that happens like this, and it whets your appetite for in the future. So going on, ladies and gentlemen, to the question of the show. Here we go. The question of the show last week was, who is the MVP of your Fed right now? Official cards only. And we've got a lot of great answers. I love all this. Gerandus says that in my AWA Fed, Frank Gotch, a former U.S. champion, is on a tear with one of the best win-loss records ever. He is set to face Lou Thez in my upcoming pay-per-view in a 60-minute Ironman match, where the winner gets a title shot at the AWA World Champion, Buddy Rogers. How great is the Legends of Wrestling game where you're like, oh yeah, Frank Gotch is going to wrestle Lou Thez to decide who's going to face Buddy Rogers. You can only do that in Legends of Wrestling. You can only do it here. Michael Brada says, in my new Rock and Wrestling Fed, under 10 cards in, my MVP is Barry Windham, current Intercontinental Champion, beating Greg Valentine for it and having a few successful title defenses for it. Yeah, Barry Windham has been great in my personal Fed too, so I agree right there with you, Michael. Excellent. Thank you for chiming in. Jared writes in about his CWF Fed. Evolution had an MVP year in my CWF and was excited to start a new year until the delay was announced. Also got to vote for Bundy in the cage to try and dethrone Brohan. So Jared is playing CWF. Always great to get the CWF chimed in here. And Evolution will be waiting for the fall when CWF, the next CWF set comes out. Thank you, Jared. Moving on now to Scotty Boy 9999. MVP for me, well, I'm playing both GWF and Legends at the moment, but hopelessly out of date. But standout performer for me is Bobo Brazil, the black and white card. He holds my Legends heavyweight belt, and he is the master of the dramatic comeback. And he keeps taking a beating, but is always surging back in his matches. Never a dull moment. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all your responses. Todd coming in here to wrap things up, I believe. In my Champions Fed, I'm currently in 21-14, and I'll vote for Incubus. He's done a little bit of everything and seems to be playing Cordanus, Mensar, and Bloodline right now in my Fed. Current tag champion and already only needs a top title win to capture the Grand Slam. In my Legends Fed, this might be a little tougher, but I would lean towards Rick Rude, who has a big steel cage match with the Macho Man for the title on my next card. I love that Rick Rude card. I use that the black and white Rick Rude card just all the time. Hopefully we'll get a color version soon. But yeah, that is a fantastic card. Thank you so much, Todd. And thank you to everybody who sent in things for the question of the show. Moving on to this week's question of the show. When you are reading Fed results on the boards or online, do you prefer detailed reports or short and sweet reports? I would love to know what you think. Answer in the comments below, and we will read your answers next week on the show. Elsewhere, here on the GWF Promoter YouTube channel, we've got two videos this week. We've got Hollywood Elite Wrestling number 34, including a fantastic main event, Gorgeous George versus Exotic Adrian Street in a hair versus hair, no disqualification affair. And let me tell you, it was wild. If you have not watched it, you got to go check it out. Also on the show, on the channel, of interest to Filsinger Games fans, is I went through the Filsinger Games Collector's Pack number 1. And if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. That is one of my most popular videos in recent weeks. So thank you to everybody who's watched it. But that was a lot of fun to do, was to go through that Collector's Pack and see everything that was in there. Hey, you know what? Check out these other fine shows. You can check out Uncharted Territory at anchor.fm// Corey-Olsen5. You can check out After Further Review with Steve Tower. I got to have Steve back on the Hollywood Elite Wrestling soon. I got to get in touch with him about that. YouTube.com/user/UNASTA. And of course, Dave's Heartland Championship Wrestling, Atlantic Wrestling Federation, and Pro Wrestling Mid-Atlantic at youtube.com/user/DDVDAVE. Links to all this stuff will be in the show notes, so if you want a easy way to click, just visit the show notes, and that will be it. Hey, did you know that there is now an audio version of this podcast? And it's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Filsinger Games in your favorite audio store, and it should pop right up. If you have a topic you'd like the show to cover, leave it in the comments. Make sure to subscribe or follow whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, and follow GWF Promoter on social media at GWF Promoter. You can check out my personal feds at gwfpromoter.com and lowpromoter.com. The theme song is American Guy by Throwing Toasters, used by permission and available on Apple Music, Spotify, and anywhere you get your music. This podcast is not affiliated in any way with Filsinger Games or its subsidiaries. It's purely for entertainment purposes. This episode is copyright 2021 Saturday Morning Media. I want to send a big thank you to everybody who was chatting along. Thomas, Michael, Mr. Baseman, and Dale. I think that's everybody there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, the show probably won't be recorded until Monday. I am headed to Northern California on Friday to work on a shoot all weekend, and then I will be back late Sunday night, so we are looking at probably a Monday morning or Monday midday recording of the next episode of the podcast, and then we will be back on a regular schedule. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Be safe out there. I will talk to you soon. Good night, everybody.
And every day I pledge allegiance to God and country. I'm the